guys, this is Kristen Murphy from Wine Library. I'm the French wine buyer here, and I also work on social media. And I just wanted to go through and work with Wines of France here in Cork'd and talk about wines of France and some of the more interesting appellations, some under the radar things, and all good value wines. And I think what's important to highlight here is that French wines, there's a vast range of things here. You can get things that are very expensive, of course, and that's what most people think of. But there's a lot of great wines that are under the radar, that are good and are cheap. And so we're gonna do a couple wines here. We're gonna do a white, a rosé, and a red. And we're gonna start off right now with the Picpoul de Pinet, which is actually a sub-appellation in Languedoc. So you're down in the south of the country. This is actually near the city of Sète. And so this wine actually comes from a mother-daughter team that work at the winery. And Picpoul is a really cool grape. And what I like about it a lot is that it has a lot of different characteristics to it. And it's also a nice little departure from, your Chardonnay, your Pinot Grigio, something interesting and different. And it goes with a lot of different food, and it's a really nice summer coiffeur. A Picpoul means, pic in French means to be like spicy or tangy, and poul means your lip, and so when you put them together, it technically means lip stinger. So it's got a lot of acid. So it's an interesting little wine. But we're going to delve into this, and has a lot of great citrus fruit to it, a lot of lemon. It's very bright and fresh on the nose. And there's even like a honeydew, melon, and cantaloupe thing going on. This is a very clean wine. It's fresh, it's bright, and really excellent for the summer. So now we're going to move on to the Cork'd. And so this is a little rosé. And a lot of people have the feeling that rosé has to be sweet. It's kind of a common misperception in America. And unfortunately, it's wrong. There's a lot of great dry rosé out there. And it's one of the best and most versatile pairing wines for food. And, when I think of wine, I think of it in terms of food. Because that's how it is in France, obviously. You always drink wine with food. And so with rosé, dry rosé specifically, you can pair it with anything from, seafood dishes to chicken to pork to grilled meats, anything. Or you can, sip it by itself. So this is an interesting blend. This is mostly Carignan, about 50%. And then there's 20% of Grenache and Cinsault, and then 10% of a grape called Tiburon. And that's actually a grape that's kind of the one of Provence. It's somewhat fallen out of favor, but it is a very ancient varietal, and it's used a lot in rosé production when you probably don't even notice it. But the thing that it gives the most to a wine is that garrigue smell, that herby Provençal thing that's very specific to the region. So this has that really nice raspberry, cherry, strawberry fruit, but again, without getting sickly sweet or over the top. And it has that underlying minerality that you smell, that salinity. It's really beautiful. And this, is only $12, so you really get a nice little value out of this bottle of rosé. So this again has really nice acid, and acid is your friend when it comes to food pairing, because that's what's going to cut through a lot of things in food, with cheese, with meats, and that sort of thing. So the fruit on the nose really translates to the palate. It's really tasty, and it's one of those wines that you just want to drink more of because it's so delicious. This is one of those wines that would be great for porch sipping. But again, Provence, rosé, really great little under-the-radar values and surprises that you can find. So now I'm going to move on to probably my biggest area of expertise. We're going to move on to the 2005 Chateau Arnaton. And this comes from a region in Bordeaux, which is called Fronsac. And so when I did my master's studies, I actually spent time and I did an internship in Bordeaux in Fronsac. And I worked not at this place, but down the road. It's a very small appellation. I did everything. I, drove the tractor. I helped with the harvest. I jumped in a fermentation tank. So it was a really wonderful experience. And so Fronsac is on the right bank. Bordeaux is split into two banks, you could say. It's split by the river Garonne. And the left bank is what a lot of people know because it's the ones with the most names with the 1855 classifications, Margaux, Lafitte, Latour, all those. The reason they rose to such prominence was because of their proximity to Bordeaux. Back in the day, it was a lot easier to get those wines than the ones out where I was in the right bank. So the right bank is off, and it's over two rivers. And this is actually, Fronsac is in between the Ile and the Dordogne, and it's right outside of Libourne. So it's in the neighborhood of Pomerol and Saint-Emilion, so out there. Now out there, they mostly grow Merlot because of the soils. Clay soil actually works better with Merlot. And then over on the left bank, you'll get more Cabernet-based wines because they have more gravelly soils. And grave, that means gravelly. And so that AOC. So there's the difference, and that's why you get more Cab-based wines over there and more Merlot-based wines over here. Now this is a blend of Merlot and Cab Franc, which is also one of the main grapes that's grown on this side of the river. So we're going to delve into this, but a lot of people have the misperception, again, that Bordeaux is very expensive, and it doesn't have to be. And so this has a lot of great fruit on the nose, blackberry, cassis. It's really flavorful, and you can smell that underlying minerality that I love about Fronsac. And the fruit is dominant on the palate, but because this is an 05, it still has a lot of structure and a lot of room to develop over the years. So this is one of those little sleeper wines that you can put away, let it age, and laugh that you paid $20 for. So I just wanted to give you guys a lowdown on some of these really interesting, under-the-radar French wines. There's so much out there. It's a massive country with a lot of different variations and interesting things, different grapes, different regions, and different flavor profiles than your normal Chardonnay, your Pinot Grigio, your Cabernet. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, send me an email or leave a comment below. Thanks so much.